used to think my career would be shaped by these big moments, like a promotion when I asked for more titles. But what I've learned is that it's actually shaped by smaller moments, the ones where you feel this shift and you have to make the decision at that moment whether you're going to raise your hand or you're going to stay silent. Welcome to How to Get What You Want. This podcast is for driven women ready to claim their goals and navigate their careers with clarity and confidence. Join me as we explore real stories, tools, and strategies to help you steer your career exactly where you want to go. Let's get started on helping you get what you want. Hi, and welcome. I'm Susie. I am so glad that you made the choice to be here today because I'm going to share some things that I wish I would have known earlier in my career. And frankly, I see this all the time with very high up executives, leaders, and they don't quite get it. But I want you to be clicked into this because it's really subtle, but you need to be aware of it. It's really important. And I'm going to do 5 episodes based on a framework that I created that I teach called R.A.I.S E, like raise your hand. And today I'm going to start with the first letter of that. And I'm going to go through these. I'm going to give you some context. And I really want you to think about, how do you apply this? How do you want to see it? It's really important. But before I jump in, I just wanted to tell you, I have the Career Level Up. I have 2 cohorts starting this year. If you are somebody that's driven, or you know somebody that's smart, that just needs a group of like-minded professionals that you can learn together and learn the most important things that they don't teach you in the everyday scenarios that you're in. And it has to do with this too. It's not just working hard, it's about being smart. So if you're interested, go to my website. You can also reach me at negotiationlove.com. Would love to hear from you and make an investment in yourself. The people that do really accelerate, and they're more confident, and they just feel like they're just more comfortable in their shoes, and they get there faster. So I'd love to meet you and learn more about you. So let's just jump into it. So like I mentioned, it's R.A.I.S E, R-A-I-S-E. And today we're going to start with R. The R in R.A.I.S E is about recognize. And I wish I would have known this earlier, because no one sits you down at the beginning of your career and explains how influence actually works. You're told to work hard, but I'll tell you this right now. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And building influence means people trust you, people depend on you, people go to you. And influence is the most important currency in your role. But when you just keep your head down and you wait your turn, sometimes silence gets in our way. And silence isn't safe. It's sabotage. I had to learn that the hard way. No one tells you that the most important career decisions aren't announced. They're nuanced. They come suddenly, and they come quietly in everyday moments. It may not be the next role for you, but it might be experience. It might be connection. It might be being able to understand something from a different perspective. Those moments, something shifts. These aha moments. I remember looking back on my career and recognizing that sometimes my biggest aha moments where I really made a step wasn't when I changed companies. It was when I recognized something about where I was going or where I've been, or this experience that really pushed me up. I really think about it as these big blocks I climbed up, and I was standing up and looking, look at where I am. And it's sometimes these really subtle times where you're able to look back and go, wow, that was a moment where I really learned a lot. But silence feels comfortable for us, and we can miss these things because if we're not paying attention, your future self will have already decided for you. You may have missed moments right in front of you. That's why I always talk about this negotiator mindset, because recognizing these moments is clicking into this other view of what's around you that we don't see if we're in our head. And that's what this is all about. It's about recognizing those moments, the moment you feel the shift. It's when a situation moves from low stakes to high stakes and your body knows it before your brain does. You know, when we feel like something's uncomfortable, because any high stakes moment is when something that we really want feels uncomfortable to get there. And it can look like a lot of different things. And it's all very personal, because the same meeting, the same situation for me versus you could be different because of the people that are in the room. Maybe a lack of trust can make something more high stakes for me than for you, because we have different relationships with the people there. And what happens is when we get into a high stakes moment, our chest tightens, our thoughts speed up, and suddenly we're not in the room anymore. We're in our head. We're like, oh, I don't like this person, and I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to be wrong. It's like the voice in our head becomes bigger than us. It's even thinking, oh, I'm not going to say anything. I don't trust. For me, it was always Dan. If Dan was in the room, I would shut down because I didn't want to give any great ideas to him, because I knew he would just take them and run. So I just, by default, my silence was what felt comfortable for me when he was around. And that didn't always serve me. I wish I would have known that. And research proves that when most emotions are activated, our ability to think clear, it drops. It's not weakness, it's biology. When emotions are triggered, so when something becomes high stakes, no matter what kind of emotion, it can be happiness, it can be sad, it can be nerves, whatever it is, when your body reacts, we want to retreat, right? We want to get out of there. That is the flight response that we have. We are built to be able to flee when we need to. But when we can be able to sit in the moment and go, okay, I feel those emotions and I want to get out of here. I don't want to face this. I don't want to put it off till tomorrow. Think of it as data. Start to recognize, all right, here's that high stakes moment. This moment matters to me. It's not about acting yet. It's not about moving forward. It's about just noticing that before your default becomes silence or defensiveness or reaction. Just being able to sit in that. Because when you don't recognize the moment, everything that follows will be reactive, or you'll just be silent. And silence has a way of making decisions for you. I remember early in my career, I worked for this guy, Bob Rittler. If you know Bob Rittler, reach out to him and tell him that I know now what a great leader he was. Great leader. I didn't know it then. I didn't know what great leadership was, but boy, when I think of great leaders, I just picture his face. We were in a staff meeting and he mentioned this really great role that would be across the company that had great visibility. It was super interesting. And I remember, I can put myself right there. I remember thinking, I wish I had the experience for that. I wish I knew more. I wish I could do that. And right at that moment, my peer Dan just raised his hand. We all have a Dan. There's Dans everywhere. If you've never had a Dan, you'll have a Dan. But Dan just said, I'll do it. And Bob picked him. And I just assumed, like Dan has more experience than me. He raised his hand. Like my assumption was he did. About a week later, Bob asked me, why didn't I volunteer? He goes, I really wanted you to do it. People trust you. But I didn't want to just give it to somebody. I wanted somebody to want it. And that really stuck with me. I wish I would have known that sooner. I'm so glad he taught me that. My silence cost me that opportunity. My self-doubt cost me that. People can't choose you if you're invisible. And when you're silent, people think you're satisfied. They don't think you want it. It doesn't protect you. It positions you as the path of least resistance. Dan was not the path of least resistance. Susie was. when they made a decision about the two of us, they'd always say, well, we don't want to make Dan mad, so we'll give him the bigger office. Susie will just take whatever we give her. I thought that was being nice. Settling love silence. It's easier. Do you want to settle? Why would you want to? I'm not telling you to become Dan, but Dan really taught me that recognize those moments were important. Most people don't miss the moments because of a lack of confidence. They miss them because they don't recognize that it became high stakes for them. They didn't realize that voice that was keeping them safe was actually limiting them, not allowing them to raise their hand. Like, this idea of raising your hand is just like being able to, in the moment, recognize that you need to take note, be able to volunteer before you're ready, but not yet. Just recognize that. Leadership research consistently shows that self-awareness is one of the strongest prediction of effectiveness, because in those moments, self-awareness allows somebody to zoom out. And do you know that we all just believe that we're self-aware? And most people, if you ask them, about 85+% of people will say they're self-aware. But in reality, only 15% are. So don't assume you are. But we're rarely taught how to practice self-awareness in real time. It's being able to go, okay, I recognize this moment. I need to see it from a lot of different angles. Because like I told you, emotion clouds our thinking. We don't see these things. We're distracted by our own emotions. But great leaders don't power through these moments. They pause, they zoom out, they increase their situational awareness in that moment. They actually say, okay, what am I missing here? I need to pay attention. Even doing that allows you to kind of step out and zoom out. That's what I mean. It's being able to take that internal moment and say, okay, something just shifted. Because if you don't recognize it, someone else will take advantage, capitalize on that opportunity. Assumptions get made about you. When you don't speak up, they assume you're satisfied. Silence writes a story for you, even if it's not one we intended. And usually that story is, oh, she's happy where she is, or he's not interested, or he doesn't care. They're just good at execution. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to just practice recognizing those moments in real time. And then when you do, be able to go, oh, interesting. My body, I can feel it in my body, whether it's in your stomach, whether it's something in your mind that goes, oh, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. Pay attention. That's when the stakes just changed for you. What is it? Is it the person? Is it that you don't have the skill? Is it that it was unexpected? Do you know that surprise is the strongest emotion that makes us retreat? And it gives us so cloudy because we didn't expect that. So recognize those moments. Be out of your head and in the room. Be able to just recognize, why am I so overcome by these thoughts? And think about, if I stay silent right now, what is being written about me? What are they thinking? That's it. That's all I want you to do. You don't need to have certainty about it. You don't have to have the perfect line. I don't need you to do anything, because I'm going to tell you what to do in the next episode. Because awareness gives you your choice. It's just having that awareness, and that's where influence begins. And like I said at the beginning, hard work, unfortunately, isn't all you need. Influence is such a key piece of getting what you want in a corporate environment. And listen, it doesn't have to be a big company. In any company, influence is important. So what I really wish I knew earlier was that your future self is built in these moments that you recognize, not the moments you perfect. Careers aren't shaped by one big leap. It's just not over when you get the title. It's after you get the title and those moments and what you do. They shape the small decisions and you become consistent in them. So take notice. Don't let your decisions disappear. Be able to say, this moment matters for me. Because if you stay silent long enough, people assume you're satisfied. And that assumption can cap how people see you and your ability to move. They won't pick on you. How does somebody pick you if you're invisible? You have to recognize that moment. So just notice. Notice when your body reacts. Notice when silence feels comfortable. Notice when the room shifts. Start to see if you're the one that's the most quiet in the room. That's your cue. In the next episode, I'm going to take you to the next letter, and that's aligning. That's aligning. To be smart and capable isn't enough. It's knowing how to align to the other side, their interests. And I'm going to tell you how to do that. But recognize the moment is step one. And if you just take this, just in those moments go, interesting. This is high stakes for me. I can feel it. I feel it inside of me because it's biological. It's happening to you. I would love to hear your stories of when you recognized. Allow your awareness to enable you to zoom out and look at what's around you. Recognize what's getting in your way, what's causing you to zoom in. Somebody triggered something in you, whatever that is. I'd love to hear about it. I'm so glad you made the choice to be here today. This is a whole series, so I can't wait to see you next episode. And I'd love to hear your feedback. If you know somebody too that could recognize moments, just share this with them. It's a win-win. It helps them understand that you care about them and the investment in them. And, I just want to have impact on others. That's what my mission is. So to get people to hear this message is so important to me. So until next time, I'm Susie. I'm glad you are here, and I will see you next time. But don't forget that negotiation is more than a skill. It's a mindset. See you then.